Raise your hand if you've been to a Red Talk before. I think most people in here. Okay, perfect. So these are 8 to 15-minute talks. The students give them about something they're passionate about. These are all students in my speech class. So today's student is one that I had as a sophomore. And I'm really excited that she's given this because I seriously think she took this class and is doing this Red Talk because she's not comfortable doing it. And she kind of wanted to challenge herself, and I'm really proud of her because I think you're going to like what you're going to hear. So my only request is, if you're a student in here, please put your phone away, make sure it's silent so you don't disrupt. And then at the end, we'll take a few questions from the audience if you have any questions for Malayna. So without any further ado, please welcome PCHS Senior Malayna Williams.
Good morning, everyone. I want to start by asking a question. I want you guys to raise your hand if you've seen the movies Iron Man, Man of Steel, Spider-Man, or any of the 4 Avengers movies. If you had your hand up for any of these, you're most likely familiar with the comic superheroes I have right behind me. You may have your favorites, and you may idolize them for many reasons. It could be for the awesome power, strength, or super intelligence they display. As you all know, these qualities are fictional. It does sound really cool, although in this age, too many people fantasize over something that simply does not exist, rather than putting attention on real people. Keep in mind, when I say real people, I mean the firefighters who put their lives on the line every single day to protect others, a brave black woman standing up for racial justice, or a man working days on end to feed his family. Those people are the real heroes we should be looking up to. So I know when you typically get told to think of a hero, you're probably thinking of an Avenger or perhaps a Justice League member. But let me stop you there. Did you pause to think about how officers, chefs, nurses, or single mothers could be heroes too? It's easy to be blindsided to how much these occupations do for us. It's easier to put more value on the next Avengers movie coming out, rather than a nurse exhausted from working overnight shifts. Or the story of chefs who use their culinary skills to cook for a community to celebrate World Food Day. Ensuring to include no one but hungry on such a special occasion. A man named Jose Andres is well known for feeding people when most needed. Not only has he provided free meals on several special occasions, he had also been there when Hurricane Ida hit New Orleans. When this happened, he didn't waste a second to rush to help. He had set up numerous food shelters with the help of local chefs who had opened up their restaurants for those impacted by the hurricane. This story is heartfelt and uplifting. It's truly the most touching thing about humanity when others find happiness helping other people. It's what makes ordinary people a hero. Being a real-life hero is about being generous, giving, and devoted to making a difference. And it's seen throughout many occupations around the world, even a chef. And this is even happening in our own town on a little smaller scale. Raise your hand if you've heard of Bistro 163. Well, if you haven't, allow me to explain what makes this place so special. It's a pay-it-forward restaurant, meaning the diners can pay for the meals of those who can't afford it. And most of the workers are all volunteers. It's a great example of true heroes right here in action in PC. Moving on from that, I want to tell you about when I used to ride the bus. I absolutely love my bus driver. Her name was Liz, by the way. She always had a way of cheering me up, especially when my home life was falling apart. And I actually knew a few kids on my bus who had rough home lives than mine. So I'm very thankful we have people like her. We should be thankful for all the bus drivers who look past just driving kids to school and back home. The bus drivers who ensure kids are seen, happy, and valued all year long. My bus driver to me was a replacement of an absent parent, and at the time it meant the world to me. And I actually want to share a similar story of a man out of many good bus drivers who was lucky enough to have his spirit recognized on the internet. His name is Curtis Jenkins, a bus driver in Dallas who said that his paycheck is seeing these children happy. His acts of kindness towards these children were never go unnoticed, as he spends time getting to know each kid and assigns roles to them. One kid could be a police officer like his daddy, a little girl could finally be president, and another could be assistant. His goal for this is that each kid is connecting together and loving together as a community, so no kid is growing up feeling undervalued. The love from these actions led a kid on the bus whose parents were divorced who had told Curtis, "The father that I always wanted. In some ways, I wish my father could have been more like that." It's truly impactful what he's done, that this is the kind of comfort he brings to such young developing minds. Creating a safe space where you know you are loved, valued, and seen no matter how different you think you are. It's honestly one thing I had to come to terms growing up with, because I always felt like an oddball compared to my peers. And I can't help but laugh inside my head right now thinking about who I was back then. And I wasn't really surprised I didn't have any friends. But now as I'm currently reflecting on myself, I'm happy to know I've made some along the way. And some of which became my friends because we grew up riding the bus together. And my bus driver allowed us to share our differences and bond just because of that. Another example of a real-life hero is Luke Nicholson, who quit his high-paying job to build beds for kids in his community who didn't have one. The inspiration came from when he saw a little girl sleeping on a pile of clothes, telling CNN in her interview it had looked like she's been sleeping on a bird's nest. Seeing this is what sparked his desire to make a change. For this, not only did he give up his job, but founded Sleep in Heavenly Peace, which is a nonprofit organization devoted to making children beds, with the motto, "No kid sleeps in our town. No kid sleeps on the floor in our town." Giving up his job was easy for him. As he said in an interview, "I found that the need I have isn't financial. The need I have is seeing the joys on these kids' faces, knowing that I can make a difference." He went from making 11 bunk beds in his garage to over 1,500 beds for kids all across America. People like this need to be recognized just as much as the characters you look up to in the comic books. It's why we're on this stage, ensuring that you know the difference between fiction and reality, and who truly resembles what it means to be a hero. This world can be pretty cool to us. I've gotten through a few hard times in my life by hiding in my room and turning on my favorite Marvel movie. At the time, it was Captain America, mainly because I admired his courage to keep fighting, not only physically, but mentally as well. I was younger then, but now that I'm older, I realize so many people display courage like Captain America did. I can open up my doors and look at the farmers in the field and find the same courage that comes from single mothers and fathers working 2 jobs, your underpaid teachers, chefs, nurses, and construction workers, and even the homeless veterans on the streets who fought for our country. There's so much more occupations that I could list. It's important you know these people are the backbone of many things. So please leave here knowing that these people make differences each day. And yeah, it's still okay to enjoy your hero-packed movies. I'm sure everyone in this room knows I sure do. But keep in mind, the real heroes never need a green screen to change lives. Let's remove the cape from our favorite fictional characters and start idolizing those real-world heroes around the world in our own lives. Thank you.
All right, great job, Malayna. I'm so proud of you sitting there. Listen. Does anybody have any questions for Malayna? I'll go with the first one. Why do you think that we gravitate more towards the superheroes we see in movies as opposed to maybe some of the real life heroes that you mentioned?
I feel like their characteristics are like overly exaggerated, and they don't really focus on like the humanity of things. Meaning we have like real life heroes today, like my mom who's sitting right there, like nurses in Recruiter right now working overnight shifts. Like it's amazing.
Questions from the audience? Come on. Who's your biggest hero?
My mom.
Mom in the front row? Not just because she's sitting there?
I would have said it anyway if she wasn't here.
Okay, any questions from the audience? Choir crew this morning. All right, so if you are a sophomore or junior and you're interested in something like this, it's a challenge. Malayna Rosewood, I know how hard she worked on this. She did a great job. But if you're interested in doing something like this is what, kind of the biggest thing you do in the speech class is give one of these talks and get to talk about something you're passionate about, which she clearly was. So please give it up one more time for Malayna Rosewood. All right, our next Red Talk is Tuesday of next week.